And welcome back to College Football Tradition here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. My name is Bryan. I'm joined alongside my co-host, Jacob Vanderford. And we are here to talk about some of the recent coach firings. It has been a palooza of a week in the coaching carousel world, but no name bigger than James Franklin at Penn State. He loses his job shortly after Penn State's third loss of the year, their third loss of a row. This one comes at the hands of Northwestern at home. Jacob, what was your initial thoughts when you saw the news?
I was honestly shocked. I feel like a lot of people, I mean, even going back to Ohio State last year when, they lost the game and everybody was like, oh, Ryan Day needs to be out of here. And then he turns the page and they win a national championship. I was kind of thinking that might happen this year with Penn State after they lost to Oregon in, was it double overtime no less. So I totally thought that like James Franklin, give him some more time. He's gonna win out the rest of his games. They got the two-headed monster with Singleton and Katron Allen. Drew Aller not doing great this year, but maybe he can pull it around. And then they lose to UCLA, a team that had fired their coach, Deshaun Foster. And everybody's talking about Jerry Neuheisel, this up and coming offensive coordinator calling the plays. I really don't know who the interim coach at UCLA is right now, to be honest, because I'm seeing so much of Jerry Neuheisel, but he's doing a great job. And UCLA pulls it out, wins in a high scoring game over Penn State. I think the biggest thing that shocked me about that game was that Penn State just gave up 42 points against a UCLA team that I think it was a stat where like they never led in a game or something like that throughout the course of this year. Like that's crazy.
They didn't lead yet. And also, I wanted to point out that Tim Skipper is the UCLA interim coach.
Tim Skipper, thank you.
He needs more name recognition
He
online. So
does. We need
Tim
to give him
Skipper,
more
Tim
names.
Skipper, Tim Skipper, Tim
Tim
Skipper,
Skipper.
Tim Skipper. Hashtag Tim Skipper.
Great
Anyways,
name, by the way.
continue on.
Yeah, no. So UCLA just Penn State's defense giving up 42 points, never leading throughout the year. We're used to a Penn State defense that has the likes of Abdul Carter and Chop Robinson and Micah Parsons and all these names that are able to stuff the run game. And even like Joey Porter Jr. in the secondary, drafted to the Steelers, like all these names on that Penn State defense. It was a stout defense. And then they give up 42 to UCLA. And then the next week, we're like, all right, they got two losses. They're on the precipice of maybe not getting into the playoffs. Like we don't know. They could still have a shot if they win out. And then they lose to Northwestern, and it's like, all right, they're not getting into the playoff. And Northwestern is one of those teams where, I mean, like you said earlier today, Preston Stone has thrown 5 picks in a game before. Since SMU times, when he had that injury, he's just not looked the same. And Northwestern hasn't really been the same since Pat Fitzgerald was let go, and they brought in David Braun, and it's just been sort of a carousel there, nightmare for the Wildcats, who once were a 9-win team, but we saw them beat Penn State, and I thought after that, like there were early signs where it's kind of like Penn State is not loving James Franklin. He has failed to win the big games. I think that's what really did him in, not winning against top 10 teams. People forget though, last year they got to the semifinals of the CFP. After beating Boise State, they play Notre Dame. Notre Dame beats them, and Notre Dame gets into the championship game. Penn State was one win away from getting into the championship game and potentially having the chance to beat Ohio State in the national championship. So
Yeah.
it's just tough for me to think that a coach like James Franklin, a player's coach, players loved him. He took Penn State back to the promised land. Bill O'Brien, we kind of talked about, he took them from the dark ages with the Sandusky scandal.
Yeah.
But then James Franklin comes in and builds them up even more to where they even have a fertile recruiting ground and they have all these big time recruits coming in. Every year, it seems like they have a ton of first round talent that gets drafted.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was shocking for me to hear that a coach like that gets fired. Now I'm just kind of like any coach could get fired if they don't win those big games.
Right. I mean, it truly is a new era of the sport. And like when you're Penn State, you're a program that is expected to make the 12-team playoff. You are expected to be at least within the top five of the Big Ten. Have the Big
Penn
Ten
State,
standings
Penn
set.
State hasn't won a championship since 1986. Like,
I
and then they
know.
have two national championships. Like,
I
what do
know.
people expect?
I think people have this higher expectation of the program than what has actually been there, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Because if you look at Penn State, let's look at another program in the state of Pennsylvania, Pitt. You could argue has had a more rich football history. And do
Yeah.
they have the fan base? Of course not. To what Penn State has, of course not. I understand that, but I think that Penn State is looked at on this realm that it really hasn't been on very often. Um, and now you're looking at 0-3. You're tied with the likes of a down Michigan State, a Rutgers, Purdue, with and a down Wisconsin at the bottom of the Big Ten. And you look at Northwestern, they're they're 2-1 in the Big Ten. Like they're right up there with Washington and Iowa and
That's
Nebraska. That is where Penn State wants to be above, and they aren't even there. So just a really disappointing start to the year for Penn State. And obviously, it's not going to get better. We talked about the Drew Aller injury, which is just heartbreaking. That was just a heartbreaking 20 hours for Penn State that they went
yeah.
through. Really hard. But
We talked about like their fans aren't going to show up to the games like in all the rest of the year.
I mean, they have a great fan base, and I'd be curious to know what holds on as they continue on this season. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but like all that to say, shocked. But also like kind of made like you could kind of sniff it out. It was in the air. It was coming.
Yeah. I mean, and let's talk about some of the other ones too. I mean, Oregon State fired their head coach as well. UAB fired Trent Dilfer. And that all happened within the span of a couple hours there. I think we saw the end coming for Trent Dilfer. I mean, he just wasn't really making it happen in the American Conference. And we're looking at the American, it's loaded at the top. And I think UAB wanted to be in that realm, especially in this season. He's been there for a couple years now. So that one I kind of was expecting. We'll see what they land with. What do we think about potentially Jonathan Smith leaving Michigan State and maybe going back to Oregon State? Would this be a good time to do that?
I mean, I
Would
could
they
see it.
welcome him back? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like the way that he left, like after that team went, I think 9-3 with DJ Uiagalelei at quarterback. He brings Aiden Childs with him, and that really I felt like dismantled that Beavers program. They were a team that like they were top 25. They were making a bowl game. They were doing all these things, and then Pac-12 sort of kind of goes away, and you just have the Pac-2 with Oregon State and Washington State. And I could see why Jonathan Smith would want to leave and go to a team like Michigan State, who has had success when you think about the Mike D'Antonio years. You think about even Nick Saban coached at Michigan State. A lot of people forget about that too. But I'm just looking at their schedule, and it's like you play number 3 Indiana this Saturday. Like you're gonna get crushed. In the Michigan game, you're playing there next week, or they're playing at Michigan State, but you're playing Michigan in that rivalry game. I just don't see them winning that one either. Minnesota, Penn State, Iowa, Maryland, they could win some of these games, but having lost already to UCLA the way that they did, 38-13, losing to
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, losing to USC, their wins are against teams like Western Michigan and Boston College and Youngstown State, teams that aren't really in that top 25 Big Ten teams. So just with the record that they have, and knowing that I don't really think it's going to get any better for Sparty, might be the year for Jonathan Smith to think about leaving, especially with his old team being open the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, I know he just got there, and I know, as an athletic department, you want to see if they could get their recruits in and see what they could develop with their guys. And I trust Jonathan Smith as a decent recruiter. Is he a good enough recruiter to bring Michigan State to where they want to go, which is where Michigan State wants to go is back to the playoff. This is a team that did make the playoff. This is a team that was competing for Big Ten titles 10 years ago. And it's a program that I could definitely see getting back there. But I think the struggle with the new age of college football, like you're in the same conference now with Oregon and USC. Michigan's only gotten stronger since the past 10 years. Ohio State and Penn State have only gotten stronger. Indiana, obviously, we could talk about them till the car breaks down. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where Michigan State goes the rest of the year and how much trust and how long that leash stays with Jonathan Smith. So just one of the ones that we wanted to bring up since we were talking about the Oregon State job. But I think the main part of the conversation we want to talk about is potential Penn State coaching candidates. There were a few names getting thrown around, and I think at the top of everybody's wish list, if you're a Penn State fan, is probably Kurt Signetti. I
Yeah.
don't see that happening. I don't
No.
see him leaving because if he were to leave, like first off, Indiana is probably a 12 team. They're probably making the playoff this year. I mean, not only that, they might get a bye. And um, if you're Penn State, you probably want to make a hire before the playoff really gets to like the semifinals. So you're talking like mid-January, right? I
Mm.
mean, and if he's still playing, I don't think that he's going to be like also entertaining something from Penn State. He just doesn't seem like that type of coach.
No. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like he fits like what they're looking for in terms of a head coach. Like he wins everywhere he goes. You look at the press conference, Google me, I win. Like
Google
that's
me.
his MO. And so I think he would be able to, I mean, if he wanted to, he would be able to fit right in into the Penn State culture. He would bring that winning mentality. And he's one of those guys that there's a select handful of guys in college football right now who could come in and just win right away and instill that culture. And I think that's him. Like again, everywhere he goes, within the first, year or so, you see the program just flip. And so I think that's what Penn State's looking for. The only other coaches that I think that Penn State fans would be okay with would be names like Nick Saban or I don't know if they would be okay with Urban Meyer. A lot of fans, I'm sure, would be in uproar with that. But like guys that have won in the past that are big names, I think those are the names that the Penn State fan boards are shooting for. I just don't think that they're going to get any of those coaches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Urban Meyer getting back into coaching, especially at Penn State. I think Penn State would actually embrace him just because they're that hungry to win.
Yeah.
Although at the same time, I don't think Penn State wants the drama. After everything went down, and I mean, you and I both remember everything that went down after the Sandusky stuff.
Hmm.
It was horrible. I don't think that that program wanted to be associated with any type of drama after that. So when I see names pop up like Lane Kiffin,
Yeah.
I don't think that that's going to happen.
No.
I don't. I think that I'm hearing a lot of like Joe Brady
Yep.
potentially. Alex Golish at USF. I mean, but at the same time, I think he's in the same boat as Signetti, where like I don't think Golish, he's a competitor. I don't think that he's going to want to jump ship when you're riding into the college football playoff if they potentially do. So that's one that I'm keeping my eye on, and we'll see how Penn State fans, if they were to respond to that. But I know you have opinions on this one. They're talking about Matt Rule, and I have my opinions on this too. But I want to give you a chance as the Nebraska fan in the room to share.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the resident Nebraska fan. So I listened to the Matt Rule press conference on Monday. This was kind of after everything went down. Or was it yesterday? I don't know. There were so many things that happened this week. But I listened to the Matt Rule press conference, and he was just kind of being asked tons of questions from tons of different reporters about, oh, did you see the Penn State football head coach? It opened up. Are you interested? I know your alma mater was at Penn State. Are you interested in going back there? And it just seemed like there was an entourage bombardment of different questions to the head coach of Nebraska, and he just kept saying, I'm not frustrated. I'm not frustrated. Like it just seemed like he was very like jumpy about all the questions, and he was trying to dance around everything, and it was just kind of like, I love it here. He had the opportunity to say, I'm not going anywhere, like Kurt Signetti has. He had the opportunity to just be like, I'm the head coach of the University of Nebraska. I'm not leaving. We're building something great here. But he didn't really say any of those things, so it was hard to kind of read in between the lines of what he was saying. But he did say that he loved Penn State. He is friends with Pat Kraft, the athletic director at Penn State. They were together at Temple. So it is interesting to think about. In my honest opinion, I don't see him going there. I don't even think Penn State will even entertain it or call him personally, because he's just another James Franklin. If Penn State fans were in distress about James Franklin cannot win the big games, he can't win the top 10 games. I think we kind of talked about today. Matt Rule hasn't won a rank against a ranked opponent, I think, since his time at Temple. So it. I just don't see Penn State going that route. I see them trying to find a big name coach who can win right away. Matt Rule is a rebuilder. We've seen it at Nebraska. We've seen it at Baylor. We've seen it at Temple. He didn't have success in the NFL, but at each of those other stops, he was able to really instill a culture. But it's taken 3, 4 years before that they're even ranked. Like Nebraska's ranked for the first time in a while. They're number 25 right now after the AP poll came out this weekend. So if they're really expecting to be top 10 and bring Matt Rule in and take him to the promised land next year, like that ain't happening.
I don't think it's happening either. I mean, if you're a Penn State fan, I truly wonder what are you going to be happy with at the end of this? I
Yeah.
really wonder what you're going to be happy with because the grass isn't always greener. And I mean, you know that as a Nebraska fan, when they let go of Bo Pelini, he was winning 9 games a year. He competed in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship at one point, and that was good, but I don't think it was what Nebraska wanted. But then after that, 10 straight years of just like, what are we doing? And you went through a couple
Yeah.
different coaches during that time. I don't know if Matt Rule is that guy that would really excite the Penn State fan base. Like we're seeing it time and time again, just like when Scott Frost went back to his alma mater of Nebraska. Like he was embraced, of course, because of his success at UCF, but it didn't work out, and it doesn't always work out. And I think if you're Penn State, you have to be able to beat top 20 opponents, top 10 opponents, because you're going to be facing 1, 2, or 3 of them a year in the Big Ten. You need to be able to take home a couple wins there. So for me, I don't think that Matt Rule is the guy, although I wouldn't be shocked if he was the one who took that job.
No.
Um, what do you think about Eli Drinkowitz? He was a name that was floated around.
Yeah, I was thinking about him too. Because I mean, being at Missouri, he's had some success. He's had some good players kind of go through there, and he has this sort of offense that it seems like every year they have this tough-nosed ground game, run, spread system that I think would work well at Penn State with the running backs that they get in and year out. He's a young guy, 42 years old. He's again been doing well at Michigan. I think that would be an interesting hire. I think Matt Campbell could be an interesting hire after this year too. Having lost in a couple straight games now, starting with Cincinnati, and they're just been plummeting. And so I think this might be a time for Matt Campbell to possibly step away from Iowa State. I know like that is
Yeah,
something that people may not have thought of before. It's like, oh, he's going to be an Iowa Stater for the rest of his time as a head coach. Like I'm like Iowa State is not a perennial football program, and Penn
no,
State is viewed as that. And so why not try to jump in the ranks? And Matt Campbell is 45 years old. He's built a culture at Iowa State. He can do that same thing at Penn State, but he's another guy that it'll take a little bit of time to be able to get back to that high tier ranked status. Jeff Brom
yeah.
is another name that's been thrown out there from Louisville and Purdue. He has those ties to the Big Ten, might be able to bring some of that run game, while also some of that pass game into Penn State. We talked about Golish. Another name that I'm really interested in is Kenny Dillingham. He's an up and comer, 35 years old. His alma mater is Arizona State, so I don't really see him leaving. But we've seen
That's
crazier
how I
things.
feel about Braun too. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, like those two, I'm
So
like, I don't know.
those are a couple of guys. I don't know. I'm really interested to see where they go because I don't think they're going to be pleased, whichever way they go, unless they get a guy like Nick Saban, Urban Meyer,
It's not happening,
one of those high profile, which is not going to happen. So
right? Like if that
Signetti
happened,
would be the one where I'm like, maybe, but like I've seen interviews with him where he's like, no, like Indiana is that superpower that's rising, and they are. They're number 3 in the country, and nobody really saw that coming. So why not build a legacy there? They're going to build a statue of him at some point, I think, down the line if he keeps continuing this.
I think so too. Especially if he's like playing down the road in Indiana or up the road, I guess, in Indianapolis. Like,
Mm.
I mean, they might be. Yeah, Drinkowitz is an interesting one to me because like Missouri has had the benefit of not exactly getting the toughest schedule draws. Like they schedule nicely out of conference. I know that Kansas has been up over the years, but they've been able to win that game. And then in conference, they're the only SEC team this year that doesn't play a team that made the playoff last year. Like they're the beneficiaries of a nice schedule. They also haven't played on the road yet. Like I mean, it's October 15th. Like it's crazy. So
Yeah.
he's a coach that's interesting to me because he hasn't exactly had the big wins. I know he had that Cotton Bowl win over Ohio State, but I was watching Ohio State that game, and as an OSU fan, I was watching a bunch of players who I had never heard of before in that game,
Mhm.
and that was a couple years ago because everybody opted out. Um,
Yeah.
so, and even then, Missouri barely won. So I don't know if that's a name that would really excite Penn State fans either, unless you also got the quarterback Bo Pribula to come with you. Isn't I
Ah,
mean he's
would he
listed
go
as
back to Penn State? I don't know.
he's from York, PA, and I know he's classified as a senior, but I think he's only played this is his third year, I think. So I don't know. That'd
Wow.
be kind of interesting. It'd
That's
be
interesting.
interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you had to like say one name, who you think is going to get it?
I don't know.
When you're on the spot.
You know what? This is not going to happen, but I think they might go after Matt Campbell. I don't think he's going to want to stay at Iowa State for the rest of his life, and that's just been a name. He's been thrown out for NFL jobs. He's been thrown out for college jobs. I think they might be happy with him since he's been in the top 10 before. Um, but yeah, like I mean, that it might be the best you can get with what you have, with what these other coaches are doing. I've also heard names like John Gruden, which I don't see him doing a great job coming into the
The
ranks.
drama piece.
The
They don't
drama
want that.
piece. Yeah, and then like I hear names like Brian Kelly, like would he leave LSU? I've heard a lot of people don't love him at LSU because he's not really a Southerner and he's from the North and he's coached at Cincinnati and Notre Dame. So that's
Yeah.
sort of an interesting one too, where I'm like, he's moved around a ton. Like nobody expected him to leave Notre Dame, and yet here we are, he's at LSU. So he
Yeah.
could do the same thing again at Penn State.
I mean, maybe if things go no pun intended, south at LSU, like maybe he does decide that this is a decent time to look at one of the many opportunities that are available. There are a ton of job openings, and there will be a ton more, I think, too. If I had to name one name who I think is going to get it, I'm going to say Manny Diaz at Duke.
Ooh, that's a good call.
He has experience at Penn State. He had success as a coordinator, or not a coordinator. Was it a line coach, offensive line? But he's having success at Duke. He's turned their season around, and now they're, I mean, they're in contention in the ACC. I don't think they've lost a conference game yet. So for me, he's the guy I'm going to name if I had to name one right now.
That'd be interesting.
It would
I'm
be.
just kind of like, would they hire him after what happened with Miami? And he really hasn't done a ton at Duke. He hasn't really beaten a lot of top 10 schools. Like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of, it's the best you're going to get. Like, you just kind of have to, Penn State fans have to be okay with it, I guess.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting names out there. I mean, I heard something the other day that like James Franklin is going to be a hot name on a lot of boards for a lot
Yeah,
of these openings too.
as he should be. Like,
Yes, he should be. I mean, I know a lot of coaches like to take a year off, like Dan Mullen did. He took some time off and did TV for a bit before going to UNLV. James Franklin, you might have to jump right back in it because there are going to be so many job openings this year. It just keeps going. It just keeps on going.
what do you think about like I guess like not to switch gears, but some of these other schools that have coaching openings, like you think about Virginia Tech, think about
Mhm.
Arkansas, think about Oklahoma State, UCLA. I don't know, like do you have any leads or any people that you're like, oh, that could be interesting there? Do you think James Franklin would go to any of those schools? I
I
don't
mean, UCLA coach James Franklin.
know.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be crazy?
Oh my
Um,
gosh. A name that I'm thinking about well, a couple names. UCLA, I'm thinking either Tony White, who is looking for a coaching job. FSU's defense, Florida State's defense has not been super great the past couple of games. But he's been a pretty good coordinator everywhere he's been. Will they take a chance on him? I don't know. Then you think about a Dan Mullen at UNLV. They're undefeated.
Hmm.
He comes in first year, and pretty much just keeps him going from where Barry Odom left off.
Yeah.
He's been a great coach everywhere he's sort of been to, besides like Florida, but Mississippi State, and then now he could go to UCLA. We'll see. So those are a couple names that I'm like, could be interesting. Even the offensive coordinator at Oregon, Will Stein, that's another name that people are kind of throwing out there.
Right. Yeah. That could be interesting. And what happens to Jim Knowles at Penn State, the defensive coordinator there? Like, is he going to want to potentially jump ship? I know like he's getting a lot of money at Penn State. Like, I don't know what's going to be the structure for him moving forward, but is he a name to watch out for? I think, there's a lot of names like Sam Pittman, for instance. A lot of these G5 spots that just opened up, I don't think he'd be wanted at like a UCLA and obviously a Penn State or anything like that. But like UAB,
Yeah,
Sam Pittman at UAB,
could be interesting.
why you that would probably be a nice hire for them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean, if the Tulsa job opens up down the line, that could be kind of interesting too, sort of in the neck of the woods of Arkansas. Uh,
yeah, that could. That really could.
ish.
It might open up. It might.
Yeah.
Not good for your fantasy
Um,
team.
I don't know. What do you think about, do you think Florida's going to change with Billy Napier at all? I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like we could have a season, the 2025 season, where Penn State, Florida, potentially LSU, Arkansas, UCLA are all open at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you think about name, like we've talked about Alex Golish so far, from USF. They're having a great year. But then you think about names like Jamie Chadwell, who had a great several years with Coastal Carolina, and now is at Liberty. We talked about John Summerall a little bit over at Tulane. Um, he could be up for a lot of these jobs. Ryan
He
Silverfield at Memphis.
Yeah, if he keeps them
Uh,
rolling. I mean, the American might get poached. It just might
yeah,
get
they probably will.
that just happens with their teams when it comes to conference realignment. They move up to Power Four, and then they have to reload with Sunbelt, not Sunbelt, but like Conference USA and other conference teams. And yeah, and coach it could be coaches now too. It could be coaches. Unless USF has a plan to move into ACC. Oh.
What we talked a little bit about Jim Knowles. What are the odds? Like he used to coach, he was a defensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. Like, do you think that they would bring him back after James Franklin is out at Penn State? They're kind of don't know really what's going on with their coordinators. Do you think he would try to jump ship? And do you think Oklahoma State would be interested in bringing him back? That's a name that could happen at Oklahoma State. I've
Yeah.
talked about Dana Holgerson, maybe offensive coordinator at Nebraska, if Matt Rule leaves. Um, GJ Kinney at Texas State. Des Bryant endorsed Zach Robinson from the Atlanta Falcons, the offensive coordinator there. He used to be the quarterback at Oklahoma State. So a bunch of different
Yeah.
names there at Oklahoma State. Like, do you have any idea or picks of who you think might go there?
Ooh, that's one since it happened a few weeks ago. I have not thought about the Oklahoma State situation in a while because I just keep thinking about the Big 12 and the
Yeah.
Oklahoma State is like a dumpster fire. It's just kind of like everybody's beating up on them right now. Um, and then everybody's beating up on each other in the Big 12. And it was a bad weekend for the Big 12 last week. Oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah, it was
I
rough.
mean, it looked like it could be a multi-bid league, and it still can be, but it took a big hit with some of their one-loss teams now having two. And
Some of
yes,
those teams just look completely out of it. Like I'm just like, what did you forget how to play football? Did you not practice the week before? Like,
I don't know.
what's going on?
It's shocking. You know what? This might be a good segue. You want to just
Let's
continue into
keep it
week eight?
rolling. Let's make it a mega episode.
Yeah, yeah. Let's look at the games for this upcoming weekend. We're gonna head into week eight preview.
Yeah.
One game that I'm really interested in Louisville going to Miami. Is there anything there? Louisville coming off
Potentially. What is the Louisville record? Are they
they're 4-1 coming off a loss to Virginia.
Yeah, that was a close game.
It
Overtime,
was.
Virginia beat them by 3.
Yeah,
Virginia's a feisty team, man. They're a good club.
they
Um,
are. Their
I
schedule's
don't
easy
know.
going forward too.
I think Miami just at home has been a different animal. They're number 2 in the country. Mario Cristobal has that team rolling. That's a coach that he's playing at his alma mater. He's coaching at his alma mater. Played there. I believe he was offensive lineman there, and he's just got them rolling.
Yeah.
Carson Beck is, I believe, a front runner for the Heisman Trophy. So I just think that they are going to be too much for Louisville. Miami just is sort of a juggernaut this year. I think they'll definitely get a bye in the CFP at the end of the year. I just Louisville might score a couple touchdowns on them, but I don't see it being close really.
Yeah, I think Miami's 13 and a half point favorite. Wow.
They might
Yeah,
cover.
I think the Miami defense is really good. I mean, the offense scores so quickly, which is why I think Miami's been giving up a little bit more points than let's say like an Ohio State this year so far. But the defense, like the defensive line is loaded. Like, oh my gosh, like very, very good. So
Yeah,
yeah, Miami to me has the most impressive resume in the country so far.
yeah.
Do I think that they're the best team so far? Like looking at them, no, I still give the edge to Ohio State. But as far as like who you beat, how you beat them, Miami is to me.
And that's a fun Friday slate. Like you got that game, and then you got Nebraska, Minnesota, kind of about the same time. I feel like a lot of people are just going to be switching over to each channel to kind of see what's going on with both those games. Because Nebraska's ranked for the first time. We'll see. They're doing the whiteout, and a lot of people call it their surrender jerseys because every time that they wear all white, they always lose. So we're going to see if that changes for the Huskers.
We will. I mean, going forward, this is not like an easy schedule for Nebraska. Like Minnesota, they're coming off a
They're pretty
drubbing.
decent. Drake Lindsey
Yeah,
at quarterback, he ain't bad. And I think Darius
not
Taylor, is
bad.
he back at running back?
He should be good to go. Is he good to go this year or this week? No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Well, he played against Purdue, no?
Yeah, but did he play last week against Ohio State?
I
I
guess
don't
not.
know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, like that's an interesting game. Like, but Nebraska's schedule going forward, you got to go to Minnesota, then you got to host Northwestern, who maybe they turned it around. I don't know. Like, yeah, and then you host USC,
That's gonna be a tough
Maeva.
game.
Mm,
USC
Yeah,
is good. Makai
yeah.
Lemon, like I think he is also a dark horse Heisman candidate. Like not enough people talk about him.
Jaden Maeva, he's one of the leading passers in the country. I mean, he has
He's great
1,800
too.
yards passing already. Like, he's
Yeah.
a baller. Like, he might
Yeah.
he might make it to New York.
Yeah. They're a good squad.
Yeah, they're a really good
A lot of
squad.
these games on Saturday too are going to be fun. I'm really interested in this LSU Vanderbilt game. Interested to see if Garrett Nussmeier can pull it out against Diego Pavia. It's going to be a fun quarterback matchup.
That is a
Um,
fun one.
it's at Nashville. It's in Nashville. Like, what are your thoughts there? Do you think Vanderbilt can pull it out, or do you think LSU is going to hold strong?
I expected a little bit more from Garrett Nussmeier this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Like he's looked
hit the number
bad.
change.
Yeah, he's looked bad in pressure situations to me. I mean, he's completed a decent amount of his passes though, but like when it comes to like pressure, I think that he's kind of folded a few times. So for me, Vanderbilt's really good at like getting to the quarterback and putting pressure on the quarterback, not necessarily getting the quarterback down, but I think that Vanderbilt, because of the different looks that they're going to show, and they're favorited in this game.
That's crazy.
2.5 point favorites.
That's actually wild. I
That
wouldn't have thought that going into the
that
season.
that's great. What happened if LSU loses? Where's the narrative on BK?
I don't know. Maybe he's the next guy to go.
I don't know.
He's sort of a James Franklin too, where he doesn't seem to win the big games either.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
And then Georgia Tech, undefeated, 6-0. They're bowl eligible. Brent Pry. I
Brent
mean,
Key.
or Brent Key. Sorry, yeah, good call. I was thinking about Brent Pry because of Virginia Tech.
Oh yeah.
Brent Key, another coach that's coaching at his alma mater. Former offensive lineman there. They're playing Duke. It's at Duke. Darian Mensah's having a year. We talked about Manny Diaz. Do you think Georgia Tech gets their first loss of the year on the road? They've looked kind of shaky against their past couple opponents. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I really like the way Darian Mintz is playing, man.
He's a
After the
solid QB.
Yeah, he's solid, man. After that Tulane game, like Tulane is in the freaking driver's seat, by the way. Well, not exactly the driver's seat of the American, because that lost to Ole Miss, I believe. But like
And
they're
maybe Blake Horvath. Come on now.
Blake Horvath, you said it, dark horse Heisman candidate, maybe.
Yep.
Like, yeah. I really like Darian Mensa, man. Like he at the beginning of the year, he looked a little lost, almost like
Yeah.
he wasn't on the same page as his receivers for some reason. And I don't know if that's his fault or receivers' fault, but like things just weren't getting completed, things weren't getting done. But then he'd really turned it around. Played well against NC State, played well against Syracuse, played well on the road against Cal. I mean, to go to Syracuse and then go to Cal and come out with huge victories,
Cal
and
ain't
not,
bad.
yeah,
Dang.
yeah, like, yeah,
That's gonna be a tough game for Georgia Tech.
it's going to be a
Oh,
tough game.
we'll see.
Yeah.
What other games? Ole Miss and Georgia. That'll be a fun one.
I feel like Georgia could run away with this.
Yeah.
Ole Miss looked bad.
Chambliss is a decent QB, but obviously they beat LSU, but yeah, Georgia's just pretty strong. Outside of that loss to Alabama, they just really haven't missed a step this year.
Yeah, I do like Kawan Lacey at the Ole Miss running back. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
he
good.
he's one of the leaders in the nation. He already has eight rushing touchdowns. Like he's somebody who I think Georgia's going to have to really focus on. And this isn't like the same kind of front seven that we're used to for the Bulldogs, but I do think that their D line can match up pretty well against the Ole Miss offensive line. So I think Georgia could run away with this one if all things go
Yeah.
according to plan.
I think
Yeah.
Ole Miss is ranked too high. I think they're a bit overrated in my opinion.
I mean, they're kind of the beneficiary of a lot of random things happening that not a lot of people expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kiffin continues to win games for them, and this will be a huge test going on the road.
Hey, how about those Red Raiders? Like Texas Tech, number 7 in the country, on the road against Arizona State. I don't is Sam Levitt gonna play this weekend?
Ah,
I'd have to
he's
check.
probable.
That would
He's
make it
probable.
that would
Probably.
make it a closer game than it would be with Jeff Sims at quarterback because that game against Utah was not close.
It
Um,
changed the whole dynamic of the game. Like
oh yeah,
Arizona State went in there and like Utah did whatever they wanted with that
yeah,
Arizona State offense. I mean,
not good.
but when Sam Levitt's in, he literally he makes a massive difference for
He
that
carries
team.
that team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but Texas Tech's defense is so good. Here's how many points they let up this year: 7 against Arkansas Pine Bluff, 14 against Kent State, but then again they put up 62, 14 against Oregon State, but then again they put up 45, 10 against Utah, 11 against Houston, 17 against Kansas. They blew the doors off Kansas 42-17. Like this defense is stout. Like they are loaded. They really went through the transfer portal and just like came out super on top. Like,
yeah. They're good. I think they're a college football playoff team, and I think they're going to win the Big 12. I think a lot of people predict them to win it too. So yeah, I think this will be a walk in the park if Sam Levitt doesn't play for them.
I think so too. And then I mean the rest of the schedule is pretty easy. Like this is a very easy schedule for Texas Tech. You got the Utah game out of the way. Like that might be the next best team in the conference. You might meet them again in Arlington. But if Sam Levitt's not playing for Arizona State, then you have Oklahoma State, Kansas State, who I mean TCU handed them that game this past weekend. They said, "Here
Yeah,
you go. This is for you." Um, BYU's their toughest opponent, and then UCF West Virginia. Like it's really just prep for BYU and don't
yeah,
hand any games away.
yeah. True.
Oh my
This
gosh.
this Saturday is stacked though. Like you got Tennessee, Alabama, you got USC, Notre Dame, and then you got the big noon game, Utah or College Game Day. Wait,
Call
what
it
is College
big
Game Day this week?
big noon is Utah BYU. College game day is Tennessee Alabama.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So I mean, they both get coverage, but oh man, it's a stacked weekend.
You know what's great for Nebraska?
Oh no, don't get my
Cincinnati.
hopes up.
Cincinnati keeps winning. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't need Michigan to lose to USC the way they did this weekend.
Yeah, and that's also good for Nebraska because you lost to Michigan by 3, so they were always going to be ahead of you. It's good that Michigan can is going to lose. They lost a Big Ten game now. You just need them to lose one more if you want to be kind of
Yeah, but is that
Big
a
Ten
good
race.
look? I mean, if you lose to an unranked Michigan, like I don't.
It was by 3. As long as like
Eh.
if they lose again, what's Nebraska's schedule look like going forward?
I love how every episode turns to a Nebraska conversation.
As it
Either Nebraska
should.
or Ohio State.
Okay, yeah, we talked about it. Like the USC game is the toughest opponent unless UCLA continues to go off its rockers. Like
Yeah,
like I don't know.
true. I thought Penn State was going to be a given loss, but now like I don't know anymore. So
Yeah, I don't know.
here we go.
Yeah.
Huskers winning it all this year. You've heard it here, folks. First, folks. You've heard it here first, folks.
You've heard it here first, folks. Um
Oh, it's 7-17.
oh shoot, it is. Let's go into our pick'em.
Yeah.
Let's
Thanks for listening, peeps. It's
Thanks for
late.
listening. Let's
We crushed
go.
this episode.
Let's go. Jeff Brom's Louisville versus Miami. Who do you got?
Miami, go Hurricane. Well, ooh, that I hated saying that. Hurricanes are gonna win. They're at home. Carson Beck. We talked about front runner for Heisman. Mario Cristobal's got him rolling. I got Miami.
I am also going to take Miami. I think the defense is too good. Louisville's offense has been pretty solid this year, but I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I think in New York this year, unless Jeremiah Smith is one of them, I think it's going to be all quarterbacks. Like there are some
Yeah,
really good quarterbacks this year. Okay, so we go
yeah.
both got Miami. Okay, for that one, Nebraska traveling to Minnesota. Who do you got?
Go Big Red! I got the Huskers taking this. They're going to win the game with their all white jerseys. They're going to break the curse. Surrender whites no more. They're going to beat PJ Flex, Minnesota. Minnesota will score some points. It'll be a closer game than people might think. But I think Nebraska is going to pull it out. It'll be, I think, somewhere between 28-24 range.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I think the difference in this game is going to be the Nebraska offensive line. After watching Minnesota last week, the defensive line for them has really been a weakness. So I'm going to go with
Thank
Nebraska
God.
as well. It would be a dang shame if they lost that one.
Yeah.
Ohio State traveling to Wisconsin. I mean, better question is this it for
Yeah, Luke Fickle, hot seat. He's been on the hot seat. I don't know, man. It just like has not worked for him there. I don't think he should have left Cincinnati, but you got to try.
his remaining schedule? Ohio State, at Oregon, Washington, at
God.
at Indiana, Illinois.
Oh my
That's his
God.
next 5 games.
So brutal. That's a gauntlet. He's gonna lose the rest of his games.
Oh my god. Jeez. Okay. Okay.
Fire him before the season's up.
I don't know. Ugh.
Dude, I when Nebraska was in the hiring cycle, I was like, I really wanted Luke Fickle. I was like, oh, he took Cincinnati to the playoff, like all this stuff. I'm so glad that we got Matt Rule. Like, it would have been so bad if we got Fickle.
I mean, who knows? I mean, because Fickle, maybe he just thrives at those mid-tier environments, and maybe that's where he
Maybe.
has to go back to. I could see that, but yeah, it just has not worked out at Wisconsin, and the schedule has not helped at all. So OSU,
Yep.
LSU, number 10 in the country, traveling to number 17 Vanderbilt. Who's got it?
Ooh, I love some Vandy with my last name being pretty much the same. I'm gonna say LSU. They're gonna take it on the road. I don't see them losing this game. They have a couple big games left. I don't know. I don't see LSU losing 3 games this year. I can't see it. So they got to win this one.
They do gotta win this one. But our good buddy Victor from Meals on Wheels, he just told me today, probably an hour ago, he's an alma mater of Vanderbilt.
Really?
So because of that, we're gonna see this man in
That's
quite a
awesome.
bit. I'm gonna say Vanderbilt.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Georgia
Nice.
Tech traveling to Duke. This one's huge.
I'm gonna take Georgia Tech. I like Mensah a lot, but I think Georgia Tech's going to keep it rolling. They could be undefeated by the end of the year, but this could be a game that they could lose and it would be okay. But I'm going to stick with Georgia Tech.
Man, I'm gonna stick with them too. I do like Duke. I do like Mensa. I do like how the offense has turned it around, but I really like where Georgia Tech's at right now. And I am foreseeing a Georgia Tech Georgia game at the end of the year that has massive
Yes.
implications.
Haynes King for Heisman, baby.
Haynes King for Heisman.
Haynesman.
Um, Oklahoma traveling to South Carolina, coming off the Texas State Fair loss.
Dude, is this another Penn State? I don't think so. But I'm like, if they lose to South Carolina, like on the throes of the curtails of losing to Texas, the way that Penn State lost to Oregon, and I don't see that happening though. I think Oklahoma's gonna take this one on the road.
Okay.
He's
Is
struggling.
is John Mateer playing?
Didn't he play at Texas or no? I didn't really watch the game.
He did. He did.
Okay. Just didn't
Uh,
play
uh,
well.
yeah. This is a must-win game for
Yeah.
South Carolina. This is a must-win
Oh
game.
yeah. Dude, do you think Shane Beamer is gonna go to Virginia Tech if South Carolina's season keeps tanking?
I mean, I think they would love him there.
Yeah, they would love him there.
They would love him there. So because of that, I'm gonna also go with Oklahoma.
Yep.
Michigan State, Indiana. Do we even have to bother?
No, we know.
We know.
Indiana.
Google him.
Go Hoosiers. Google me.
A&M traveling to Arkansas.
A&M.
A&M. Nice. Ole Miss traveling to Georgia, a huge one in the SEC.
I'm gonna take Georgia. I'm with you. I think they're gonna pull away. I just think Ole Miss is a bit overrated. Yeah, I'm gonna take Kirby Smart.
I'm also going to take Kirby Smart. I'm not a fan of this Ole Miss team, and I think that Georgia's going to flex its muscles here. Texas Tech, Arizona State.
Texas Tech, without Sam Levitt, Arizona State is not the same football team. Texas Tech is rolling right now. I think they're going to keep rolling. They're going to win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Texas Tech too. I mean, man, we're a lot of chalk today. But yeah, I just don't know. Even if Sam Levitt does play, I still like this defense a little bit more. Memphis, number 22, going to UAB. I mean, since we're doing the ranked teams.
I got to go with Memphis. UAB losing their coach. Like, yeah, no, it's Memphis.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Memphis too. But not only that, I'm going college game day next week goes to USF versus Memphis in Memphis.
Ooh, that'll be a fun one. I like that.
That'll be a fun one.
Nice.
Oregon traveling to Rutgers.
Oregon.
Man, these teams don't have a lot of good luck traveling to the other side of the
Nah,
country.
nah, it's Oregon.
Yeah, it's Oregon. Um, okay. Okay. Washington State, Virginia.
Virginia. I got to take the home team. We talked about the Who's. They're a feisty team. They're scrappy. I like what they got. I like what Tony Elliott's doing over there in Charlottesville. So I got to take Virginia.
Yeah, Chandler Morris, man, what he could do with his legs. Washington State, they're coming off a hard-fought battle against Ole Miss, and now you have to travel to Virginia. Ugh, I think they're just going to be tired after this one.
Yeah.
Texas traveling to Kentucky. I'm going to go with Texas. Kentucky. Is that another one?
Yeah, I think Mark Stoops might be gone after this year. But yeah, I gotta take Texas too. They're ranked again. They're gonna stay ranked, but going with the Longhorns.
Kentucky head coach James Franklin. Who said that?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Uh, the third Saturday in October, Tennessee at Alabama.
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Alabama. I think they're on a roll. Really like what Ty Simpson's doing. I think he might be in the Heisman conversation as well. The way he's able to spin the ball, the accuracy of passing, their defense at home, it all adds up. Got to take Alabama.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Alabama because you got to think like the receivers have been phenomenal. Like Journey Bernard like has been awesome for the Crimson Tide, and that's before we even get to Ryan Williams. So, and I know that he hasn't received a lot of praise this season so far, but he's still just as talented as he was last year. And he's someone who I think is going to break through one of these games. This might be the week he does it. Alabama for me as well.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, USC Notre Dame. Now we got an interesting one.
That's tough, man. Notre Dame at home. CJ Carr is playing really well. And USC got Mayava, you got Micaiah Lemon. They just beat Michigan. They're ranked now. Um, Lincoln Riley is, back in that top coaching conversation. I think they're gonna slip up here, and I think Notre Dame's gonna beat them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How do we keep on the same side of this thing? I'm on Notre Dame too, just because they got their two losses early in the year, and man, both were heartbreakers. Miami and Texas A&M. Those are two teams that are in the top four right now,
Yeah.
and I expect them to be in the top four when the first playoff rankings come out. But Notre Dame turned it around after that. Crush Purdue, crush Arkansas, crush Boise, crush NC State. And I think that they're going to beat USC. I do think it'll be a little closer than what they've experienced over the past month, just because of the offensive firepower that is USC's offense. But I think this is their last like really big test before the rest of the season. So I think this one is Notre Dame as well.
Yep.
Okay, a few more to get through here. Rocket Power. FAU going to USF. Kind of a rivalry. FAU thinks it is.
I got USF. We talked about. I think they have a chance to win their conference, and this is another game where I think they're going to blow the Owls out of the water. So I got USF.
Yeah, I got USF as well. I think that I was expecting them to kind of slip up at one point or another, but they've just looked awesome so far. Missouri traveling to Auburn. Is this another?
Yeah, it might be another one. I don't know. I think Auburn at home can be tough. The fan base can be tough, but early on in the year, I thought they were going to be good. Like Jackson Arnold was throwing it around. They were doing well. Then they kind of slipped up. And I think they're going to continue to slip. I think Missouri, Bo Pribula, Ahmad Hardy, one of the top rushers in the nation. He was #1 going into last weekend. I got to take the Tigers. Missouri Tigers.
The Missouri Tigers. Tigers on Tigers. I am going to go the other way on this one. I'm going to go with Auburn. Just because I think if you're Hugh Freeze in this situation, like this might be one of your last games that you could really like showcase, like, that you could beat a decent team in the SEC, and then it gets really easy for you. Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt's up this year, Mercer, then Bama. So this is like your last test for a few weeks until you get to Vanderbilt. I think they're going to want to showcase what they got. So I'm going to go with Auburn in this one. I like it. Missouri hasn't been on the road yet.
Yeah.
Okay, two more. Utah, BYU, Holy War.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a fun one. I'm taking BYU. They're in my fantasy league. I need them to continue winning. I think Utah will make it close. I think it'll be another close game like last week was with Arizona, where they might go into overtime. Devin Dampier is going to be able to use his legs a lot. That might be tough for that BYU defense. But I think Bear Bachmeier is going to clean up some things that happened last week, and I think they're going to come out on top.
Man, we're going to go the other way on this, and it's partly because of fantasy, and I need you to lose this game and lose the points from the big.
No, never.
I think the Big 12 is absolutely cannibalizing itself. Outside of Texas Tech, like this is another team that's going to fall victim to that. Although it will help Utah and they'll get ranked a little bit higher, I think that they're going to come out on top of this one. Devin Dampier is the best quarterback that BYU has faced this year, and might be the best one that they faced this year based on how I've seen the other ones kind of playing and figuring it out. So I'm going to go with Utah, the Utes. Okay, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State.
Cincinnati.
Okay, Cincinnati. Love it. Perfect.
Nice.
Wow.
We did it. Great picks. We'll see how this goes this weekend. I'm pumped.
Nice. Let's go get coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us on College Football Tradition. For Jacob Vanderford, I'm Bryan Partika. We will see you in a few days.
Peace out.